All right, in this demo, we're going to go through how to use paste from Excel. So I'm going to go ahead into my customer center here. So we use paste from Excel. This is one of the ways in QuickBooks that you can get data into QuickBooks. They have it with list data as well as in some Accountant Edition or Enterprise Edition. They have a couple of transaction data options, so make sure to check out those other videos. But we're going to focus in on the customer list. So when do we use this? We use this when we're trying to get mass amounts of data into QuickBooks occasionally. So let's say, I don't know, we purchased a division of a different company and we want to get the customer list set up in our new QuickBooks file. So this is one of the ways we can get a whole bunch of customers set up pretty easily in QuickBooks. And it has a lot of fields available to us. We also use this frequently. So a lot of times customers will come to us and they'll say, you know, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to customer reporting, right? So as an example, I had a customer the other day who said, I want to be able to run my customer list by region. I said, okay, well, let's look at the fields that you're using or not using. And they weren't using customer type as a field, right? So I said, okay, we're going to set up all your customers as regions. And of course, since that data wasn't already in QuickBooks, there isn't a way for us to just go, snap our fingers and mass make all the regions appropriate. So basically what we did is I showed them how to use paste from Excel. It's kind of painful, but at least it's just, entering data and pushing down, entering data, pushing down. And it allowed them to go in and clean up their list in an easier fashion than having to, double click edit, go into additional, change the customer type, etc. Okay, so it is definitely helpful when appropriate. So how do we get there? So we open up the customer center here, and then we come into paste from Excel under the Excel tab. All right, and you can see here it already looks sort of like Excel, right? But in kind of a QuickBooks Blue format. So a couple things to notice. First of all, the customized columns up top here, this is really important. So you can come in here and add additional columns. QuickBooks is always going to have some standards that it starts with. You can add additional columns as needed. I'm going to go ahead and add all of these for right now, just so that we make sure to touch on each of them. Okay. Of course, you can reorder them as needed, etc. But when you're actually doing it, I'll let you play around with that. Then over here we have our list, so we can decide. Right now we're focusing on customers obviously, but you can see there's some other lists, so make sure to watch those videos. We can view active customers, only inactive customers, only unsaved customers, right? So again, if we pasted some stuff in here, we haven't saved it yet, we can filter by that. We can filter for customers with errors only, so if there are any errors for any reason, we can filter by that. And then we can have some custom filters, so search customers for the name field, address field, right, email, account number, etc. Okay. We also have a find over here. The find will search through most fields. All right. So as an example, if I go edit my Fourlane doors customer here, I go to my additional information tab, I have testing set up in this custom field I have set up. So if I come in and I do a search for testing, it will narrow it down for me, right, to that list. And then of course I can search within results if you're, you have a really big list there. It will search for things like 555 in the phone number. And again, if I want to narrow it down, I can say, okay, within that list, 5687 narrows it down even further for me. All right, if I'm really trying to get to some specific data. One thing that it doesn't, I said it searches through most things. It doesn't search through the customer type field currently. So we noticed, right, on our customer center here, one of my customer types, you can't really see it. There we go. One of my customer types is website. So if I come in here and type in website, it doesn't have any results, even though obviously some customers have website tied to them. So it searches through most fields, not all fields. Just, try it out. I always say test a customer, put the data in there and try to search for it. Okay, so again, what's so helpful about paste from Excel? So you notice I start on the first tab here, I can tab across and start filling in additional fields. When you're looking at these fields names, they are the same as when you edit the customer, right? So I see company name here. That's the same as company name here, right? This name here is the customer name. That is the same as customer name up top. Now this is one area in QuickBooks where the job field is not customer : job, right? So store 45, you can see here, and then if I scroll across somewhere, it'll say it's a job of, and then the customer. So it has it in two different fields. You also can put it in one field here though, so you can see the customer name : job, right? Because that's really how QuickBooks understands jobs anyway. Okay, so again, starting up top, I can tab across, I can start to fill in information, right? First name, last name, phone number, fax number, alternate phone, email, CC email, bill to line 1. This is one of those areas where you want to make sure when you're editing a customer and you're looking at this address field here, right? This is what's going to show up in the envelope. So you don't want to just start with 123 ABC Street, because then it won't be addressed to any company. You have to first start with, right, the company name, and then the street address, and then city, state, zip, right? So again, when we're doing paste from Excel, it's the same concept here. Bill to line 1 is that first line that you see here. And so you want to make sure that that is going to be most likely the customer name. Okay. All right, continuing to tab across. So here I get to customer type. So if I were mass filling in customer types for regions, right? So I can say East, and it will allow me to do a quick add here, or I can set up the customer type, but I'm just going to go ahead and say quick add. You can say if it's a job of another customer, it will let you pull down the customer list, or if I start typing, right, it'll pull up the customers for me. You can set up your terms, tax code. Let me scroll over a little. Your tax item, right? So what's their standard tax item? Their account number, their credit limit. They do have the job status tab, so pending, awarded, etc. Okay. Then it has start date, projected end, and end date. So you go, what is this, right? So if you ever have a question about what it is, go edit the customer and look for that field. So this is obviously a job type field, start date, projected end date, but it's not super clear, right, when we're looking at this Excel spreadsheet here, or paste from Excel sheet. So if you have a question about it, go edit a customer and check out what fields are available. We have I skipped ahead a little bit. Job description, job type again. You can mark this customer as inactive from here. So if we were going in again and doing a cleanup of customers, when would we do something like this? We have customers who frequently come to us and they want to do a condense or maybe start a new file because I had a call yesterday, they had 20 years of data in QuickBooks, and they've attempted 2 condenses on their own, which is not the best way to go about doing that, and they have lots of corruption. So we're starting a new file. So I said, well, we can bring over just your active customers, and they said, well, we haven't really kept up on that. So I show them how to go in here and use this sheet, right, and say this is inactive, this is inactive. So it's quick checks, right, and you can quickly go through the sheet. Now, of course, I can move these columns around as well, right? So I can get rid of some of those columns on the left here. I can say move this inactive column. Where is it? Here, right? I can move it up so that it's way up closer to the name of the actual job, right? So right next to the name of the job. So I come over here now, and it'll be a lot easier for me to decide which need to be inactive. So let me pick a couple. I want to try and choose some without balances. Okay, so I'm going to say no on this. I push down. Space bar allows me to check. Down, space bar allows me to check. Down, down, no. Okay, that one. Oh, this one has a balance, so I don't want to make it inactive, right? So it makes it a lot faster for doing some of that cleanup when we're trying to edit, clean up customer lists. Okay, so let me go back over to the side so we can continue with the columns. Okay, so again, ship method here. So we saw that was a custom field I set up. So it's great. You can paste, same thing if we are adding a custom field because we want to be able to run a report by something. We can add that custom field and we can paste some stuff in here. I'll show you a way to mass paste down. We can do a ship vendor. That's another custom field. And I have VIN number as a field. We do have the ability to edit or add the class field from here. So in QuickBooks Enterprise, right, one of the preferences in Enterprise is that you can assign a default class to a customer. As an example, you can assign it to a customer, vendor, employee, or an item, or chart of accounts. So you can assign it to a customer, and this is one of the few places that we can actually go in and mass apply which class we want to be the default for the customer. So that's pretty neat here. Okay. We can mass put in the sales reps and then the preferred send method. Okay. So there are a couple fields that aren't available, right? We can't paste credit card information in here. There's other videos. Check out our video on how to paste from Excel here. It's not called paste from Excel, it's import from Excel here. Not to confuse you. So check out videos on that, and we'll make sure and show you how to import credit card numbers. The other field that, just off the top of my head, they don't have the preferred payment method in there. Of course, you don't have, can we do online payments? So, and in this field, in this file, I do have price rules set up, right? So if I had price levels set up instead, then obviously price levels would show up on here as a choice for me to make. Okay, so why is this great? So that's one reason, right? We can clean up data. Another reason is that we have the ability to paste data into here. So one thing is, let's say, I don't know, we got everybody who was in a particular, let me get rid of some of these columns now so I don't have to scroll around so much. So I'm going to get rid of main, phone number, fax, email. I'm going to leave customer type. I'm going to leave sales rep. And I'll leave class for now. Okay, so a lot cleaner. All right, so when I'm looking at this now, so I have my customer type in here, right? And let's say that I wanted to be able to sort by rep, right? So I sort my list by rep here. And everybody who JG has is West Coast. And everybody who MK has is East Coast. And everybody who VK has is Central. Okay, so what am I going to do to get that, a way to mass clean that up? So I'm going to go in here and put West, okay, say quick add, and then I'm going to copy this down. Now I'm not going to save it yet, right? Because this is, when I say copy down, right, it copies all the way down. So let me go scroll down here. Oh. All right, just ignore that little pop-up. I had to get it refreshed here. Love these sample files. So I copied it down. So West, right, copies all the way down. Okay, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to where MK starts. And I'm going to say MK is East. And I'm going to take from there and I'm going to say copy down. Okay, and again, MK is going to copy down all the way to VK. Then I'm going to go to VK and I'm just going to go back to West. Whoops. West for now. Okay, and then copy it down again. So I get them in the order. I keep on copying down. I don't hit save until I'm done. Then when I save changes, okay, that's all updated. So now when I go look at Turner Suites as an example, and I edit it, right? Under my additional information, it has my customer type appropriately and it has my sales rep. So that's a way to kind of quickly clean it up, right? So one of those other kind of tricks there. Okay. Now, of course, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we can go in and copy and paste columns in. So if you have these different columns, so let's say name's the only field, right, that is required. But let's say name, company name, bill to 1, bill to phone number, you just copy it from Excel and paste it into QuickBooks, and it'll create those new customers for you. Okay. All right, but I'm going to show you one other thing. So one of the things that's really important when you're dealing with paste from Excel, especially if we're using it to update customers, is that it's going to be in the same format or in the same sort order that your customer list is, right? And you want to check it. You want to make sure to check it because maybe your list is in a different order. You want to put it, in regular order, meaning go up to view and resort list. All right, but it's going to go in this order. And if you have active customers showing only versus if you say all customers, right, including inactive, that can affect this as well. Because again, if I say export, so I'm going to go to Excel and say export my customer list, when I have it turned to all customers, when it pops up here in Excel, any second now, you'll see here that it includes the inactive customers, okay? And if I change it just to say active customers, when I go back and I say export customer list, now it's going to include just the active customers. The inactives will not be included, all right? But notice that it puts it in order just the same as my customer list is sorted right now in QuickBooks. So if I were to want to do some cleanup, right, I can use this sheet to do some cleanup, and then I can just go in and paste it into QuickBooks as well. Now, why would I want to do it in Excel? Okay, so I'm sorry, just touching on that. If I go in and sort this list in any way, notice, you'd think, oh, it's sorting customer order. No, it's not, because Fourlane's up top here, and then Baker's is down here. It's not sorted in alphabetical order by customer, right? So again, just be really aware, because I don't want to fix a whole bunch of stuff and I sort it in customer order and then I go paste it, and when I paste from Excel, it starts with Fourlane and I go, oh, I'm going to paste the first name in here, but mine's in customer order, right? So you just want to be really aware before you paste anything in, because there isn't an undo, right? Okay, but why would I want to do it in Excel? Because of course Excel has so many great little features that we can use. So let's say I'm going to take this miscellaneous section down here, right? And notice that the first and last names are not filled in, but the primary contact is filled in. So let's pretend I have this need to fill in the first and last name. Okay, so I can take an Excel. Now this is going to be using an Excel formula. So I'm going to copy this column here, right, with all the names. In the separate sheet here, I'm going to go ahead and paste all these names in here. Okay, then I'm going to use the Data tab and move my text to columns. So text to columns is one of the Excel features that you can use. Again, watch other videos. We have some videos on how to get data into QuickBooks, and we talk about more Excel functions that you can use in order to help that. But for now, text to columns. Okay, so it takes me through my little text to column wizard. So right now it's delimited with, which means that there's something in here that's going to tell me that it needs to be first and last name, right? So right now I'm going to say it's a space. Now, of course, on this list here, I'm fine with choosing a space, right? Because it says Brian space Stern, Ruth space Coover. If I have something that was like David space Lowe space John, right? Obviously space wouldn't work because we want Lowe John, or maybe David Lowe to be in the first name column and John to be in the second name column. So you just need to be aware of what you're doing with this. Again, so space, I'm going to use space and say next and finish. And it takes and it puts my first name and leaves my first name in the first column and sticks my last name in the second column for me. All right, so why is that exciting? Because now I can copy this column, come into QuickBooks, and I'm going to scroll down to the area, right, where it starts with Brian, and I'm going to paste in the first name. Brian, Ruth, David, do a quick spot check of it, right? And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to copy the second column for last name, and again, go back up to where it starts Brian and paste. And then I can save those changes. Okay, so it updates my 20 records. Now when I go look at Brian, that first and last name is in here now. So really quick way to get some of this data cleaned up again. So as we say here at Fourlane, right, the more data you put into your system, the more data we can get out of it. If you're looking to run particular reports, if you're looking, again, reports by region, by customer, customer types, different, just more reports than what you think you can get out of QuickBooks, use the fields in QuickBooks to get there. We do have to do a one-time cleanup to get the information into QuickBooks, but once it's in there, then we can create reports on it. And obviously, the better the reporting, the more business decisions you can make as a business owner, and everybody's happier. All right. Make sure to watch our other videos on this. There's a lot of information on Paste from Excel. And again, go check out our videos on data conversion to learn more about Excel functionalities and things like that. So I hope that you can go get some cleanup going on.